I think one of the challenges to resurrecting a game like MediEvil, you go back to the original game like we did at the beginning of this. You go back to it and you look at it. You don't want to deliver like an exact replica of that original game.
Right.
You want to deliver the game that people remember playing. And so what we want to do is, like, instead of going back and recreating that perfectly, we want to recreate what you remember about that game and what you took away from that game.
Well, there's also the, I mean, we have access to the original source code, right? So, and we can see in there that they had intents to take the game even further, or they're, like there's boss battles in there that have states that just not in the final game that they were working on and then were commented out. So we can see what their artistic design was or what they were trying to go after.
And one of the most important aspects of doing that is really walking in the shoes of the original creators.
Yeah.
So that's why it's almost like an archaeological project where you're kind of digging up all this material.
Yeah.
You're talking to the original team. You're trying to find out exactly what they were thinking, what they were feeling at the time, and you use that as a way to springboard into the new direction you want to take the game and the presentation and the feel and the mechanics.
Yeah, enemies in particular were a huge challenge. There are, 56 different enemy types, which, by today's standards, you go even large AAA games don't have that variety of characters.
The one thing that stands out to me about MediEvil that I still remember today was when I first got to the time device level, which is this crazy level that has brains, trains, and clockwork parts, and it was just this bizarre change of pace in the game that just felt like it belonged as much as it didn't. And I really enjoyed that part of the game. And I in fact, like that level kind of opened my eyes up to that kind of design where you can just throw that weird left hook that nobody's expecting and take people on this like totally different path in a game. And that one was hands down my favorite part of the game.
The Hall of Heroes is probably my favorite place in the game because it's something that alludes to a larger world that Dan lives in, and that world is everywhere. You can feel it everywhere. It's the way the characters are written, the personalities involved, and there's just a ton of charm there that makes you want to spend time in that world. And I think ultimately, that's one of the reasons why it has endured for 20 years. Why people today are just such huge fans of it. Is because those characters they created. Dan is an amazing character, and all of this cast of characters of all these heroes that come from different lands, and they all have something to say about Dan and his position in the world. I think really that to me is really having the ability to go in and interpret that and sort of build out this world and artistically was really probably been the most fun part of this entire thing.
For the players.